everyone. Good morning, good evening. How are you doing? We have 3 people today. That's something. Well, anyways, today we will be continuing animating fire effect that we started last time. Here's what we got so far. Привет, Бен. Ben Vicious. So it's looking pretty good already, so I think we'll polish it up a bit and then move on to adding internal shapes and glows and stuff. Just want to change this frame. Let's get to it. That's right. Hello, John. Nice to see you again. How are we doing? I want to add a bit more mass to this, well, apex frames when the second burst of fire happens, to make it a bit more punchy. Doing well, thanks, just messing around in Unity. Are you making effects or something else? Effects, slowly working through the old RTVFX sketch challenges. Sweet! Hey Alex, love your work trying to learn to do VFX for games. What hardware do you use? Any recommendations? Thanks for the content. Yeah, sure. Hey Chris. So on the streams, I'm using Procreate on iPad. And for work, I'm trying to use Procreate. I use it, like I do 70-80% of my animations in Procreate, and then I usually move on to Photoshop or Adobe Animate to polish them up. Before, I used exclusively, well, almost exclusively Adobe Animate, but it feels like they're making it worse with every update. I don't like how the brushes work in Animate anymore. They always were kind of weird, but I feel like it's getting worse. So I'm trying to switch, well, to something else, and right now I'm using Procreate. As far as the software suggestions, a lot of people use Toon Boom on PC. I don't know if it's on Mac or not, but it's very popular software for animation in general, and TV Paint. Well, TV Paint, yeah. Also, there are a lot of other, well, decent softwares that can be used for animation, like Krita. Hi Brian, got the stream, so excited. Sweet, I'm excited too. Here's what we're all working on today. We started this Thursday, and today I hope we can finish it. Yeah, YouTube hasn't been nice to me with notifications lately. Right, if you click the bell on my channel, it will guaranteed notify you when I start streaming. Also, I have a schedule. It's Thursdays and Saturdays, usually at the same time. I think I should do a better job of notifying people beforehand, because I post on Twitter the moment I go live, which is not very in advance. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to communicate with people and let people know that I stream. Hey Danny, nice to see you again. Has anyone seen Video Game Awards or What was the recent one? They announced a bunch of new projects. Is there anything you're excited about? I'm excited about the one in Warhammer universe, which is basically a Left 4 Dead, but Warhammer. Funny enough, there's another project, Back 4 Blood, which is the game made by people who made Left 4 Dead. To me, it wasn't as appealing. Like something was off in the trailer. You should post your upcoming streams on the real-time VFX community. A bunch of people from there learning to do VFX animation. Great community too. Yeah, thanks for the advice. I probably should, because I don't think I'm even have an account there. I still have a bunch of places where I can notify people that I haven't done it yet, because I want to kind of, I guess, practice a bit before letting people know that I stream. So we have a tiny, cute community here. There are some people that join me every time, which I really appreciate, and it's kind of like quite calm for now. And as I'm new to streaming, I kind of like it this way. I think it's a good slow start. I just linked to you in the community and now deleted it. Oh, like, don't need to delete it. It's fine if people come. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Yeah, there are no rules that, okay, no one should know. Keep it quiet. If you want to share it, I will really appreciate it. It just from my side, I'm not really aiming. I don't know what I want to say, but I think you get it, right? By the way, anyone knows what's the soundtrack? Where is it from? Usually I have soundtracks from 16-bit era console games. This one is a bit different. Curious if anyone knows where it's from. No idea, to be honest. have some clues. I guess I should start right away that it's a PC game and it's made by a company that's doing very well these days. Sounds like something from an RTS. No, but not an RTS, different genre. This franchise had 3 or 4 games, depending on the way you count. And there were gonna be a new one a couple years ago, maybe more, that they were planning to develop with the community. But I guess the company got distracted by another project that happened to be so successful that they really focused on it. And the game in this franchise got pretty much abandoned. I don't know, but the Hollow Knight soundtrack is great for a more mellow listening experience. Sounds like it's a request. I kind of have a plan for today already. I'll keep it in mind, though, in the next stream. Hollow Knight. Haven't played it. It looks really stylish. Maybe I should try it. Today I had a weekend where I didn't have any chores or things to do, so I wanted to play a game, like a new game. And I spent the first half of the day just scrolling Steam and other stores, figuring out what I want to play. And in the end I was playing Sea of Thieves again, alone, which is kind of sad, but it was fun. Not that there's anything wrong with energy music while working. Yeah, I think like there are different For me, if I'm planning to work for a long time, then something more mellow and calm would work best. But if I need to do something fast, like I have a deadline, having something energetic really helps, I think. Sea of Thieves, I play it with friends sometimes. Yeah, me too. It's kind of... It gets boring once in a while. But it's such a charming game. I wish more people played it, because the issue I'm having is that there's no one playing. And I'm bored of the PvE content, so I wanna find other ships to fight and steal loot from them. And it's fun when this happens, but for me it takes like an hour to just swim around looking for other ships with no success, and then 40 minutes of fun. You tried Hades? Great art style, great soundtrack. No, I haven't tried it. People are talking about it everywhere. It's just a bit I don't know, it's like, to my taste, at least from the screenshots, it doesn't look that good. I think I'm kind of pushed away by the art style, honestly. Maybe when you play it, it feels better. But just based on the screenshots, not a fan so far. And in terms of gameplay, it's like top-down twin-stick shooter or slasher with what's it called? Sorry, I don't know. I don't remember a lot of English words for things, because English isn't my first language, and I know what it's called in Russian, but I remember in English. Roguelike, yeah. Isometric hack and slash essentially. Sweet. Yeah, I might try it. I just bought Sea of Thieves for myself and a friend, but still haven't installed it yet. It's good that you're playing with your friend, because this game is designed for playing with people. You still can play it alone, but it's kind of tough and not as fun, maybe? Not much people today. We have 17 people, that's fine. It's an elite club, we don't need a lot of people. Hollow Knight is a great game, gem of a game. Highly recommend if you like 2D games and solo playing experiences. Music, visuals, and atmosphere really draw you into it from the start. Yeah, I'll try it. Kind of forgot about it, but it was on my list of games I should try. By the way, the soundtrack is from Unreal Tournament. No one guessed it. It's quite an old game. I'm not surprised. And that company that made it is Epic. Or is it Epic Games? What's the proper name of the company? People who made Fortnite. strangely I didn't play it. Yes, it was popular back then. Yeah, it was a Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament at the time. 2 arena shooters that were... And the people were arguing which one was the better one. I personally liked Unreal Tournament way more. But with these games, I had a weird experience, which probably a lot of people had, that essentially these are multiplayer shooters, arena shooters. But at the time, at least in Russia, the internet wasn't that good and wildly spread yet. So people just played them like locally on LAN parties or just at home with bots. So I guess I can't really judge them the way, like, I haven't played them the way they're meant to be played. But single player, it was great. I really liked it. Hey Igor, doing great. Have you played Unreal Tournament? Russian is fine. I'm trying to keep it in English, but if you have questions in Russians, I'll answer in Russian. Multiplayer without internet was the best childhood experience. You sure? I think playing games with other people is kind of fun too. Hey Anna. You like Unreal Tournament, do you? Maybe we should play Unreal today after the stream. Thanks, Igor. I'm just trying something weird. Add some weird frames to maybe add to the punchiness a bit more. I need a faster frame rate for this. Multiplayer with bots wasn't frustrating. Today playing in serious shooting games online is pain in the ass. Yeah, I guess I agree. Like you just don't care with bots. I don't think it's just bots, it's just the way the games are made now. They all build around well, competing. They have ranks, they have XP points for when you're doing good and stuff. In Unreal Tournament, there's just nothing, there's just the gameplay. So maybe it kind of helps to not care when the game isn't supporting this competitive mentality. Where's it from? Are you a fan of first-person shooters? In the late 90s, early 2000s? Online multiplayer is nice, but it destroyed local co-op. It's so damn hard to find any decent games I can play with people at home. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe overall the game's kind of... like the most popular genre is first-person shooters, I guess. I think they are quite difficult to make work, work locally. Some games did though. Halo, Serious Sam. Yeah. I love local co-op. Have you played Streets of Rage 4? Counter-Strike, Quake 3. Okay, so you prefer Quake 3. The soundtrack is from the direct competitor. Around the same time. 99, I think? Maybe 1998? Community nowadays is toxic generally. Bots aren't blaming you in chat for everything. Right. I don't think... well, maybe it changed a bit. Because I remember going to... what's it called in English? Internet cafes? Where you go to play LAN games? I think they are not as popular in the West, but they were very popular in Russia, and people were quite toxic there, even in person. So I don't know. I think internet doesn't help with the toxicity. Well, to be honest, I didn't have a computer at the time. I only had Sega. I got my first PC in 2011 or something. Pretty late. I used to go to computer clubs to play some games. Yeah, I think they're called internet cafes or LAN cafes in the West. But I miss these computer clubs or internet cafes. They are doing a comeback now. Well, I guess not during the COVID times, but they were reappearing everywhere just before pandemic. Like more esports focused. Sweet, so glad to see you start streaming. Huge fan of your stylized work. Thanks. Is it your first time on my stream? Today we're doing a fire burst. I guess we started last Thursday. Today we're polishing it and hopefully finishing. But we'll see how it goes. Did you like Counter-Strike 1.6? Yeah, I liked it. I played a bit of CSGO as well, Global Offensive. It's a fun game, but it's stressful and, well, I guess the community is kind of toxic. That's a game where you work hard to have fun. Yes, just saw the notification. Picked up one of your gum roads a while back. I didn't have any gum roads. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But cool. Nice to see you here. Do you stream every Saturday? I caught this one by chance. Every Saturday and Thursday, around the same time. I can't really just tell you what time I start, because everyone is in the different time zones. I'm in Russia, like Moscow region. So I just create this stream page on YouTube, and when you click it, it says you the time. I guess subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell button is the easiest way to be notified. I also try to notify people on Twitter, but I'm not doing a very good job. Maybe it was somewhere else. It was an animated explosion effect. Oh cool, thanks. Probably we'll get to some explosions a bit later. Right now I have this series of fire-focused streams planned. And for me personally, I'm just practicing, so I kind of want to just pick an element and work on it for some time, and then switch to something else, maybe lightning. Hi Magdalene. As long as I know the days, I can keep an eye out. Sweet, thank you. I'll post the schedule on Twitter, I guess. А где приблизительно в московском регионе ты живешь, интересно ради? Московская область, на юго-восток от Москвы. Have you played any MMORPGs? Yes, mostly World of Warcraft. I played a tiny bit of Lineage 2, but mostly World of Warcraft. Did you play Overwatch? I did, when it just released. I played it for a while. I don't know, just got bored of it. I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooters overall, I think. But I play other Blizzard games more, like Heroes of the Storm. Overwatch looked cool, felt cool, sounded cool. I guess it's just the genre that I'm not really a fan of. Or maybe I'm just bad at shooters, that's why I don't like them. If you subscribe to this channel, it gives you a notification 30 minutes before the stream. Oh, good to know. I have no idea, I have zero clues how all these things work, like notifications, subscribing, and stuff. But seeing every other YouTuber reminding to click the bell button in every video kind of gives a clue that it does something. And what it does, I think, it just gives you a notification in the top right corner whenever the channel uploads something or starts to stream. Because without it, new videos just appear in your main page feed. Sometimes they don't. But with the bell, you get a notification. Have you ever heard of MU Online? The name sounds familiar. I don't remember what this is. Favorite Overwatch character? To play or just design-wise? I played a lot of Mei and I forgot his name. What the guy with the 2 shotguns? Reaper. Because it's easier to aim. Especially with Mei. For someone who's not really good at this type of games. Mei is a day. Right. People also call her the devil. Or prime evil or something like that. Because everyone hates to play against her. She's my favorite character as well, favorite to play, and she's cute. Yeah, I think everyone is cute in Overwatch. They did such a great job with the characters' designs and personalities. Everyone is very appealing and somewhat unique. I'm excited for Overwatch 2 actually, with more PvE content. Like we mentioned before, PvP is quite stressful at times. And I really like the Overwatch world and characters. And I was always interested in the story, but they're not really focusing on it in the game. So I think this Overwatch 2 with more PvE focus and story focus can be great, at least for me. Hey Slash. Overwatch 2 might be interesting, yet PvE doesn't seem that interesting. There are just tons of blunt enemies. Talking about Overwatch bots. I don't know, I played the PvE demo at last BlizzCon and I liked it. I don't know if it's like good enough to be a game that you play for hundreds of hours, but I'm personally not interested in the game that you play for hundreds of hours. For me, if they have a somewhat interesting co-op campaign that you just beat, would be fine. It's actually what I want from Overwatch 2. I don't want like a looter shooter. I need to remove all this crap. Did you play Space Rangers? No, I have not, but I've seen people play it, and I don't know, I somehow missed it. But no, I haven't played it. I think I played Silent Storm during this time. I think it was right around the same timeline, right? Soundtrack in there is the masterpiece. Cool, good to know. I need more soundtracks. Or you will have to listen to The Adventures of Batman and Robin over and over again. Hi there, Alex. What's up with this? Hi, Stefan. Is it Stefan? Is it Steven? Sorry, like I'm a bit confused with the English names sometimes, because they're spelled and pronounced differently. But the software is Procreate on the iPad. It's not ideal for animation, but it's very just fun to draw in Procreate for me. The way the fan feels, the way it responds. Steven. Cool. Sorry for pronouncing it wrong. I'll try to remember. I think there are a lot of other apps on the iPads for animation that I haven't tried yet, but I want to try Calipag. There was something else that looked promising. Animation Desk or something. Explanatory, big fan. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, like my previous works, I usually did them in Adobe Animate, but I'm trying to find something else, because the brushes in Animate are terrible. But so far it's kind of always a trade. I like the brushes in Procreate, but the timeline and the way you work with animation isn't perfect. It's not bad. It's great for simple stuff. If you have just one layer, one color layer, then it's great. When you start to make something a bit more complex, then you start to have difficulties. And I think the amount of frames is limited as well. For me, it's enough, the amount of frames you can have, because I usually make animations for games. And usually they don't take more than 16 frames. Эй, здорово. Привет, Немо. Hi, Nemo. Дела замечательно. Пытаемся сегодня на английском общаться. Я в целом на русском тоже отвечаю, но пытаюсь на английском. This frame looks kind of awkward. После пандемии, видимо. в жак в киберпанковском стиле. Опс, это у меня. Угадать можешь откуда? What's your thought process for holding your frames easing on an effect like this? I'm experimenting and see what works better. I think I saw this tutorial one day that was essentially about breaking up the natural curve of easing in and out. So let's say you have the graph and have it like this, so it slows down, and like this it's already quite punchy. In the tutorial they showed something like this, where you break apart the curve before the main, I guess, frame, the apex frame. And it feels a bit broken, the timing, but it feels more punchy. So we have an explosion. Like we have something like this. And then the next frame is like expanding like this. And if you follow the curve and like the vector of explosion, if you want to keep the spacing consistent, the next will be, I don't know, like somewhere here if you were slowing down. But I guess the trick was to hold here for a bit longer. And then go like completely extreme. Something like that. I'm not 100% sure how this works, so I'm trying to figure it out. Kind of leaves an expression of that earlier frame for the viewer. Yes, you kind of see it in anime a lot, like when they have the explosion, it adds like this two-punch effect to the impact. And when they have an explosion, at first like they have a fire building up quite quickly, but then it kind of stops for a moment, and then there's like a huge second part of the explosion. I think the point of it is because the earlier frames are so fast and they go by so quickly that you don't really notice something. And because the nature of the explosion that originally like there's nothing there and then it happens, you kind of miss this initial frames because there's no like preparation for them. And I think it's cool to kind of hold on the initial, well, flash, impact or fire building up to just give the viewer awareness that the explosion is happening now. And then when you got their attention, there is, well, the main part. Also, I'm trying to hold on certain frames even in the middle of the explosion, and we'll see how it works. Maybe I will remove it. Like this one? No, this one. Just to, once again, kind of imprint this keyframe in the brain of the viewer. I think doubling the time is a bit too much though. Maybe not. Maybe like 0.5 time, amount of time instead of like doubling the time will work a bit better without breaking the smoothness too much. But yeah, once again, because the frames are so quick in these fast-moving types of effects, the viewer doesn't have time to. They don't have time to understand it, I guess. And holding some certain frames, keyframes, I think might be cool. I know anime does this like all over the place. In general, they have a lower frame rate, so they really focus on this keyframe. Some of them they hold like, I don't know, for 5-6 frames, maybe more. And the motions, you still recognize the motion, the movement, you understand what's happening, but also you register these cool shapes and not just, okay, something has happened. Because if you look at the real Fire, like real life, it also looks cool on the like stop frames, on screenshots, but because it's so fluid and it moves all the time, it's really hard to focus on the shape of the fire when you just look at it. If you try to do a live drawing of a campfire or something, One, two. Check, check. What the hell? Is it better now? Is it still broken? Yo, cool. I have no idea what happened. I haven't done anything. Like my mic the lights flickered. It was cute, get it back. It seems like most of the people liked it though. Maybe that's the gimmick of my stream. Dolphin style was okay too. Our ears just aren't ready for the secrets he's trying to share. Yes, that's the sacred knowledge. Yeah, I had some questions here. Sometimes, well, in most cases, I guess anime don't follow the principles of animation. What do you think about that, Alex? Is that right when it comes to anime FX? Yeah, they still follow the rules of animation, I think, but they pay more attention to keyframes. And I think now I started to lean towards this way of thinking that it's more important to have cool keyframes. And even the motion is not as correct technically, that should be fine. Because correct motion, and it's not interesting. Simulations can do that. And what we're focusing on is something more artistic, maybe even like abstract in a way. The way like the shape language, just how it affects the viewer's brain. Okay, it started right after you said when you tried to enjoy a live drawing of a campfire. Yes, I think the point I wanted to make is if you try to draw a live drawing of a campfire, it's really difficult because you can't really just capture the shapes, the frames, because they are flying by so fast. And you see fire, it's very fluid because, well, it's real. And you see that it looks cool, but just grabbing specific shapes is very difficult. And I think to kind of apply it to animation, you have to hold certain frames for a bit longer to leave this, well, full impression and imprint them in your viewer's brain. You know, like if you played fighting games, or I guess some slashers do that too, they have this thing that's called hit stop. When you hit someone, like there are a couple of frames, or maybe even more, sometimes they go up to 10 frames, where the screen is just, it's frozen. And it's frozen on this impact frame, where the attacker has his or her like fist hitting the face of your opponent, and you freeze on this frame for a bit, and it feels way more punchier because your brain registers this impact a bit better. And some games don't do this. I think Mortal Kombat doesn't do this, and it looks a bit more real, but not as impactful like compared to Street Fighter or like anime fighting games. Sound like turntables or super sped up audio video. Yeah, that's how I think. I just stopped translating it to English for you guys. It was Alex's real voice. It activates when he accidentally touches the NDA. Right. Sometimes they go way too far with this, and it ends up looking really weird. I mean, yeah, it still requires like skills and knowledge. Sometimes, like, not every animation is equally successful. least it's new. It was part of the music track. Did you like it? Maybe it's a gold mine, like a new music genre. Maybe it's like the new breakthrough in music industry. Everyone secretly needs it, but they don't know yet. It wasn't unpleasant, kinda like. Okay. I'm taking notes. I will have to rewatch this stream. This will be my next album. It's not what I wanted to. Wait, there was a previous album? Well, there was a single, just one track, because my hobby is I like making music, and so far I only made one track. But it's the project called Alex is Hiding. One word. It's on Spotify and iTunes. Pretty much everywhere. Actually, Alex, you have some pretty good tricks for getting attention on the stream. Last time it was random screams, now the voice of the dolphin. Yeah, maybe it's just I'm sneaky like this. Maybe this all is intentional. I wish it was. I'm not that clever yet. That's interesting. You are feeling your shapes and it's fire, but it's fine for you, I guess. When I animate FX, I draw animated lines, and only after that I feel shapes. It helps to work with onion skin. Yeah, it's... The last time I did the lines first, I think, and then I feel everything. I don't know, usually I feel everything right away. And I've been trying to do more line art style workflow first and then feel everything with color. But I think today I haven't thought about it and just naturally started to draw with shapes. Okay, Unreal Tournament soundtrack is done. It's time to guess the next one. They're kind of similar soundtracks. This one and the previous one, sometimes I got them mixed up a bit. Maybe it's the same composer? They are from completely different genres. I don't have a clue, yet something seems a bit familiar. It's an RTS game. And yet again, there was supposed to be a new game in this franchise a couple of years ago, but they cancelled it. Similar to Unreal Tournament. Interesting. It's like CNC or something like that. It's exactly that. So I guess you guessed it? But yeah, it's Generals. Command & Conquer Generals. Great game. There was supposed to be another one. New Generals, and I think they were beta tests already. But EA cancelled it for some reason. I don't know why. Any RTS fans in the chat? to that genre, but maybe it will come back one day. I hope that Reforged would be the comeback for RTS games. But that didn't work out. Yep, I've been playing the remasters of AoE lately. Oh, sweet! Which one? They like remastered all of them. I think 3 came out recently, but earlier this year the second one as well. Good guess for somebody who never played CNC. Nice! I'm Age of Empires type RTS fan. Didn't play RTS for a while. Yeah, they kind of went away in popularity. I love them. Well, I played mostly Warcraft 3, but Command & Conquer, Age of Empires, love those. There were a lot of like smaller ones that I can't even remember the names. One was about Vikings or like Celtic folklore. It was similar to Age of Empires, but a bit smaller. I've only put a few hours into 3, but I've sunk many hours into 2. I haven't played 3 at all, even the original. And 2, I mean, I loved it. I haven't played multiplayer versus people at all, just local with bots. And it was fun, just the whole idea of progressing in ages. It's just cool by default. And there is something to, I guess that's managing your city feel. It's just very comforting when you see your tiny peasants walking back and forth with food or wood or stone, building things, gathering things. I remembered, I played an RTS somewhat recently. It was called Northgard on PC. It's a bit simplified RTS compared to Age of Empires. But I think it was fun. It was like a cool modern takeoff on RTS. Music straight from 2000s action movies. I think that's the point. I think this Command & Conquer general style is kind of this blockbuster military action movie. Age of Mythology is my favorite RTS. I loved it. I think it's, yeah, it's the same thing as Age of Empires, but with like fantasy creatures. I love the Titans. the huge units. But yeah, once again, this was the time for me where I didn't really had good internet. And I think these games shine in multiplayer. You have to play them versus real humans. So I guess this wasn't the right time for me to really appreciate them. Another one that I loved is Warhammer Dawn of War, the first one. At the time it was amazing. Just visually, the animations, the feel of it. It wasn't just a popular IP rip-off game. I think it was kind of a breakthrough in some ways. The amount of units on the screen at the same time, visual fidelity, because usually strategy games, because the camera is so up high, the models are kind of crappy. I think in case of in Dawn of War, the models looked great even up close. Like you can compare them to third-person games of the same era and they will still hold up. And I wasn't a fan of Warhammer or anything. I didn't even know about Warhammer before this game. I think you find a lot more RTS games on mobile, but probably too much in-app purchases to be highly popular. Yeah, and the gameplay isn't really the same, right? They're not the RTS from the PC consoles. No, RTS on the consoles aren't the same as on PC anyways. I need to get rid of all this. Start over. Flashbacks to trying to play StarCraft on N64. That sounds awful. I haven't played it myself, but it's not even Xbox or anything like that where you have decent controllers that technically can allow you to play RTS games somewhat normally. N64 is... no. Well, I guess Dune 2 was on Sega and other consoles. But Dune isn't StarCraft. Dune is somewhat... it's designed for this slow pace. Slow-paced controller in mind gameplay. Definitely not StarCraft. I don't know if the N64 version was any different from the PC version. step strategy. Oh, turn-based strategy games. Yeah, Civilization is great, but to me it's like a drug. I played once for the whole weekend. Then I decided, okay, that's enough Civilization in my life. Never again. I quit Civilization. And you don't play it for a while, then you decide, okay, maybe I play it one more time for a couple of hours. And you spend another whole weekend playing it. And then I uninstalled from my computer again. And that's the cycle. It always works the same way. Total War I don't really like. Yeah, Warhammer 40k Dawn of War, I assume, was very interesting and attractive, and now it looks pretty cool. Pretty good. I kind of want to play it. There was an old RTS they made for consoles called Goblin Commander, and it was awesome, really creative in design and factions. I haven't heard of it. Goblin Commander. Let me Google it. I'm curious. PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube. Looks pretty cool. I kind of skipped this PS2 era on consoles altogether. I didn't have any of consoles from this generation, and I mainly played on PC, so I wasn't aware about this game. Basically, I play Civ like you, once in a year for a few days. Right. Not all Total War are cool to me, but Rome Total War is one love. I think I'm just not a fan of like this historic setting. I need some fantasy elements or sci-fi elements to spice it up. Battle for Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings. This one was great. I think it was on consoles too. But I played it on PC. Apparently the development of this game was awful. People crunched like hell and slept at work for a full year, something like that. And then the company didn't pay them. I just recently saw the news story about this game, and it's a shame, but the game was awesome. I like this siege mechanic where you have to siege human castles if you play orcs. It was just like so new, and the feel of it was very close to the movies. Recreating Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith fights. And we played it in multiplayer, which was even more awesome. Oh yeah, I love my Battlefield Middle Earth. It was so cool watching your units level up and change depending on how many battles they survive. Yeah, and once again, it was cool to see this squad-based strategy game where you don't have like single units. Well, you have heroes and some large units, but most of the time it's squads that you control, and there are so many people on the screen at the same time. And with all the physics, where Cave Troll can smash them with the... What's the name for this weapon? I don't know, with the tree. And they just like fly everywhere. So cool. Yeah, it was a really fun fortifying Ministry with Morgul. Are you talking about the Battlefield Middle Earth 1 or 2? I liked 1 a bit more than 2. I think 2 had more stuff, but it kind of lost some focus. The first one was very siege focused, and everything was revolving around that. You can only build buildings at your own base or on the outposts, but in very specific spots. In 2 you can build whatever you want, similar to Command & Conquer and these RTS games. And I think the gameplay was a bit more generic, but they had cool maps with pre-built castles. I think this played way better than just generic skirmish maps. Company of Heroes was also squad based, which I enjoyed. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I like the destruction in it. The buildings. You can break a hole in a building, and it affected the gameplay a bit, which is also cool. Also, you can hide your units in craters, like explosion craters. It was very new in this genre. After max level, they also changed visually and the upgrades could be seen. Right. No, this game was amazing. And the shame is that you can't like legally play it now anywhere. Like you can't buy it because it's a licensed game, I guess. So either you pirate it or there's no other way, which is a shame. Yeah, it had a really cool line of sight mechanic. Right. I love that you could pick up weapons. Like there were some special weapons like a huge machine gun that your regular unit squads can't pick up. And it was so cool to see it in RTS, where you can customize your squads a bit. Because in other games, each unit like is very specific. There's an archer, there's a swordsman, or I guess in the more similar games with firearms, you have a unit with a rocket launcher, you have someone with a rifle, a sniper. And in Company of Heroes you can kind of customize them a bit. It was cool. Do you have any pets? I have a turtle. The one that swims in water. I see a good choice. As a cat owner, I'm struggling to work when cat wants an attention. I have allergies I'm allergic to cats and dogs. So I don't have such problems. Sorry to hear. Oh, it's fine. I mean, I don't have to worry about all the hair in my house, right? How many viewers have pets actually? Let's find out. One cat, one cat. One dog, two cats, and two guinea pigs. Oh, that's cool. What type of dog? A hamster? And Toyota Corolla transport them all in. I don't drive. I have no idea what the Corolla is. I mean, I know it's a car. I don't know what's the problem with it though. One cat, two guinea pigs. My parents have my childhood dog. He's an old man. I don't have a pet, but in my house we have a dog, a hamster, a bearded dragon, 2 fish and 4 kids. Huh. Okay, I have to ask about the dragon, right? Is girlfriend considered a pet? If you're a bad partner, I guess. My wife thought it was cute and begged me to get it for her. Am I not aware of something? Like when you say bearded dragon, think about the dragon. I guess that's why you don't... I don't sense the sarcasm through internet. I feel like I'm getting tricked. Look at this yellow Labrador Retriever mix, very smart. We're only just a bit small for them. We have to bring all the animals on the trip. Ah, I see. Pets. You can pet them all at the same time. As long as they don't fight each other. Well, it's a lizard, but she did get a harness that has wings on it. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. I like that it's just called Bearded Dragon. But imagine a possible disappointment. Like you telling someone who's not aware that it's a lizard that... Like, I don't know, your daughter or your son. I'll get you a bearded dragon for Christmas. And then you give them a lizard. Can't really figure out this ring thing. Do I even need it? I think it's cool, but it draws too much attention. I don't really know how to dissolve it in a good looking way. I think I need to move it back a bit, so it's not just expanding. Having some contrast movement also will help to make the main shape burst a bit more powerful. Like if we have the fire moving forward and we have another secondary element moving the opposite way. Visually, it will look a bit more powerful. It was only about 3 inches long. It was only about 3 inches long when we got him, but he'll get up to 2 feet long and fully grown. 0.6 meters. Okay, I understand meters. That's quite big. How smart are they? I assume lizards are not as smart, right? He's going to need bigger wings. He seems smart. Can't see below his habitat. But he knows what side of the shelving stand has different types of food in it. Interesting. Okay, have anyone saw animated movie Flight of the Dragons? It's an old one. I think it was out before I was born, actually. Maybe not, but I had the VHS tape with it when I was a kid. And it's a great fantasy animated movie about dragons. I personally think it's awesome, even now. If you haven't seen it, give it a try. I saw it, it was cartoon of my childhood. Yeah, I consider its style creepy. Yeah, there is something unsettling about the way it's drawn. At least like when you're a kid. It's not like Disney pretty. But I think that's what makes it like for adults. I think it's interesting visual style of it. The Flight of the Dragons, or just Flight of the Dragons. Полет драконов. I think it's the same studio or the same people who did The Hobbit animated movie, which is also pretty creepy looking for kids. Yeah, but Hobbit was rotoscopic. It's indeed creepy. And dragons didn't have a rotoscope. Yeah, makes sense. But I think they are still made by the same people, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I find it kind of funny that like some games or some movies are popular in different areas. Like when I mentioned some games that were widely popular in Russia, none of the English-speaking viewers played it. And the same with movies. Even though Flight of the Dragons, I believe, is an American-made movie. No one really knows about it. Do you have a favorite Russian animated movie? It's a tricky question. I don't remember any like modern animated movies that I like. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but I'm not sure. Like when I was young, old Russian animated movies, they're all kind of creepy and unsettling. I think most of them are for adults. And as a kid, you kind of don't understand the point of it. Because usually they are quite deep, like there is meaning or something. I don't know. But as a kid, you don't care. You don't understand. You just see very depressing imagery. Think? Ну погоди, был довольно-таки прикольный. Потому что, возможно, он старался быть более западным. Ежик в тумане. Good night. What's good night? Спокойной ночи. Ну погоди, в нескольких странах заблочили, потому что волк курил. Ну да, тогда это не виделось какой-то проблемой. Том и Джерри тоже курят периодически. Не прям, конечно, постоянно в каждой серии, но бывали эпизоды. Том и Джерри вообще много чего было. Того, что сейчас нельзя показывать. Ежик в тумане тоже депрессивный. Очень. В Авгике на него так шликают. Преподаватели. Что это за слово такое? Нет, как бы с артистической точки зрения он клевый. Просто когда ребенок, ты этого не понимаешь и не можешь понять. Просто это не для детей мультик. I don't know why I'm struggling with this part so much. I feel like I'm spending on this secondary part more time than on the main part. Anyway, I don't need the ring. Skip it for this one frame. And that's it. Все-таки Назадзу вспомнил. Я не смотрел. Ни фильм, ни мультфильм. Я вообще в детстве депрессивные фильмы только смотрел, поскольку ничего больше не показывали из нашего. Иностранный канал родители не смотрели. Ну, да, есть такое. Нет, это, наверное, полезно, весь спектр эмоций, не только веселенькое и легкое смотреть. Ну, конечно, когда все депрессивно, это тоже наверное, не очень хорошо. What would you consider to be the most difficult part of animation, and does the difficulty remain the same if that work is professional versus private? Oh. For me, it kind of shifts throughout with time. Originally, at the very beginning, when I was just starting out making effects, the difficulty was making everything smooth, because your line work originally will jitter a bit between frames. Then you shift the priorities. At the moment, for me, coming up with interesting shapes is the most difficult thing. I figured out how to make things move in a smooth way. And I think I kind of figured out how to make things move in a correct way, where it seems it looks right. But then comes stylization and exaggeration, where you start breaking some rules in specific spots to make it more punchy, more powerful, more interesting. And this area, it's not as clear, like the rules are quite vague. You have to figure out on your own why certain things work or not. And this might be quite difficult. Also, doing things in your own style is easy in one way and difficult in another, because I'm trying to develop it more and more, so it's not just, well, the effects, but so they are mine, the effects. And this means always experimenting and trying new things. And when I'm just learning, or like learning, you can grab a bunch of references and pretty much copy them. Just change the motion, but the style, the type of movement, just do the same thing. And when you try to figure out your own style, there are no references for your own style. You kind of like trying to steal different things from other styles and other works and combine them in hopefully a unique way. But yeah, I would say that this part it can be tricky. In terms of professional versus private work, I think at the moment I'm somewhat lucky that I'm doing like my own style, my own type of effects on my current project. So for me, professional and private at the moment are the same thing. Why is it so hard to come up with your own style for Ace? What do you mean? Are you just screaming? I think your own style is part of it. Just comes naturally when you realize when you try a bunch of things and some of them stick and they like in combination they create your style, personal style. But I think some of it is intentional, because you need to keep researching and trying new things. I appreciate how much detailed information you give to questions people ask. Most people keep their answers short and vague or give a typical easy response. Yeah, I mean, thank you for asking. And just for me, it's cool to think about these things. I think it's similar to like maybe that's just my approach. What I've been saying about the personal style, that you should rethink it every time and try to evolve it, improve it. I think when people ask me questions, I try to, well, actually think about it. If I'm still thinking the same thing that I did before, but maybe something changed, because like with time you can have different opinions on the same questions, right? I guess when you're answering the questions, you're not only teaching the other people, but also making things clear for yourself out loud. Yes, exactly. And I really appreciate your questions. It's a chance to think about something that I haven't thought about myself. I've heard it saying you learn the most while teaching others. Maybe. I'm not really, well, teaching, because I mean, I'm answering questions, I guess that might be teaching, but I believe most people view criticism as negative and miss out on questions. They wouldn't ask themselves or see things in different ways. Yeah. I don't know what to say here. I like to criticize. I kind of feel bad for when I'm focusing on, I guess, negative things in other people's artworks. And I think depending on who I'm talking to, some people may perceive it as that I don't like the artwork. And That might not be the case at all. I don't know, I have this thing that I focus on. Ways to improve a lot. I adjusted the spacing a bit by making some frames, doubling the times they stay in the screen. I think now we have our effect is a bit more punchy, more explosive. I also added to the second explosion the thing I'm trying to figure out. I haven't done it that much in my animations, but let's see. So we have this frame, like these couple of frames that build up for the explosion, and you see like the core, I guess the base point of the effect is around here, and it's about to go forward, explode forward. And what I did here is before this frame, like originally this frame wasn't here, so you have this, well, very logical, natural explosion forward. But what I did here, I added a frame in between where I kind of shifted the mass of the shape a bit backwards. So it feels a bit like a slingshot, and it acts like an anticipation to the main explosion. So you see the shape moving backwards and then forwards. And I think it amplifies the explosion. I might want to play with the shape of it a bit, but the idea should work. Thanks, Igor. I don't like to criticize, I like to ask questions so I can understand their POV on things. If I see something off on something, I'll just ask what's going on here. I think that's a better approach than mine. It's either intentional for a reason, or it'll point out something they didn't notice, right? Hey, it's a cool way to phrase it, like as a question. I was planning to finish this animation today, but it took so much more time. But I think I did a lot of improvements to what we had at the beginning of the stream. Kind of like the timing now. I need to resolve some of the shapes. I think overall silhouette is a bit more interesting now than it was before. And it's definitely more, well, explosive. I think with proper coloring and glows, it should work quite well. And on that note, I think I will be wrapping it up. It's been 3 hours, 15 minutes, a bit more than usual. And thanks everyone for coming again, I really appreciate it. Those convex flame shapes you added today make it look a lot more interesting. Convex flame shapes. I don't know this word. Okay. Yeah, I got it. You mean this more like volumetric cloudy shapes, like here. Yeah, I'm imagining it with secondary color, it will look more like fiery clouds, and then they dissolve into more thin tendrils. Done. Sorry. Yeah, oh, no need to sorry. I think I'm learning new words. So, I should thank you, Convex. The way it is now, it reminds me of a firebender practicing their fighting forms. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I can see that. More of a... It has, I think, more like purpose, direction, and more pronounced timing. Like this can be like 2 attacks. Rather than before it was just... I don't know, it still had like some, like 2 notes there to beat. But it wasn't as pronounced and impactful, I think. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with what I really like this part actually. Let me grab another color. This tendril here that I added, the way it lingers, I really like it. Convex is rounded outward and cave is rounded inward. Just to add. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have Russian words for it. Now I kind of connecting the dots. But yeah, thanks again for coming, for answering, for asking questions. And I will try to inform people about my upcoming streams a bit better on Twitter. And also subscribing and hitting a bell button will be the easiest way for you guys to be notified when I'm streaming. But other than that, it's Thursdays and Saturdays around the same time. In Russia, I start at 8 p.m. I have no idea what time it is where you are, but I try to do approximately at the same time. And I guess next time we will be continuing with this fire. Hopefully 3 sessions will be enough to finish it. Yeah, and see you next time. Bye bye.